Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Savvy Motherhood, where we're going to dive into some real life parenting tips and tricks. Today I'm going to talk about a topic many breastfeeding parents face at some point, and that is how to get your breastfed baby to take a bottle. So, whether you're getting ready to go back to work or you need some flexibility, you just want to take a break every now and then, introducing a bottle can be a bit tricky. But don't worry, I've got you covered with some practical tips and advice to make this transition as smooth as possible for you and your baby. Real quick, if you can hit the subscribe button, and that would help me be able to push out more content like this. Be sure to watch to the end because I have my number one tip for getting your breastfed baby to take a bottle. You do not want to miss it. All right, let's jump in. So, starting with this, transitioning a breastfed baby to a bottle does not happen overnight. It is a process. Babies are used to breastfeeding. It's what they know, it's comfortable, it's a routine, and babies thrive on routine. So, a bottle can feel like a real foreign object at first, but the good news is with some patience and the right timing, some helpful tricks I'm going to give you, you can make it work. All right, first off, let's talk about timing. So, timing is everything. Experts say that waiting until breastfeeding is really well established, around 4 to 6 weeks, is a good time to start. I have had moms who started at 2 weeks, and it really wasn't a problem. It's about being gradual, and maybe you just introduce it for like once a day, and it's maybe an ounce. Not a big deal, just so that it's not completely foreign. If you do start too early, your baby can get confused between the breast and the bottle. They may develop a preference if you're doing the bottle too often. And if you want to establish your milk supply, really don't give a bottle for a good 2 weeks after birth. If you wait too long, however, they may get really set in their breastfeeding ways and resist the change altogether. So if you're aiming for a smooth transition, somewhere around 4 to 6 week range is a sweet spot. Now, don't worry if you've missed it. We still can do this. All right, let's pick the time of day. The first attempt can be very trying, and you want to pick a time when your baby is calm, like mid morning or early afternoon. Not too hungry, not too tired. It can make a big difference. Avoid the fussy times right before bed in the evenings or right before a nap when they're just hungry and they just want to eat. They don't want to learn something new. The goal is to set the stage for a relaxed experience. All right, so let's talk about choosing the right bottle and the right nipple. This can really be trial and error because babies are so different. But try starting with a bottle and a nipple designed to mimic the breast as much as possible. There are bottles that have slow flow nipples and a shape that's just more similar to breast. So it makes the switch a little less drastic. Think of it as easing them into it rather than switching to something totally different. Now, if you're actually ready to offer the bottle, here's a tip. Try stimulating the breastfeeding experience. I'm sorry, simulating the breastfeeding experience as close as you can. Hold your baby in a similar position, keep the milk warm, use a bottle that has a softer nipple. These adjustments can make it easier for them to adjust to the new way of feeding. However, I have had babies who need a completely different experience because it's something new. And they don't go for that pretend it's mommy thing. It just doesn't work. So it's okay if that tact does not work, then just change it up and do it completely differently. Again, every baby's different. They have different temperaments and sensitivities. So it's okay if that doesn't work, try it completely opposite. Another tip is to experiment with the milk temperature. Some babies are picky about this. Breast milk is warm, so try gently warming the milk in the bottle, whether it's breast milk or formula. You don't want it hot, of course. Just think of it as lukewarm, room temperature even. This is a good way to make it simulate, what they're getting from the breast as it's warm. So for some babies, switching between breast and bottle during a feed can help them get used to the change. I have not really seen that work, but it's just out there as an idea. Again, every baby's different. Some people like to just start with breastfeeding and then switch into a bottle for a bit and then go back to breast. This way they're not fully switching away from something familiar and it doesn't feel like such a big change. Just another option for you to try. It's not every baby is going to accept this bottle on the first try. And if your baby flat out refuses, here's what I say. Keep it low pressure, okay? Take a break, try again later, try tomorrow, try it when everybody's in a better mood. They might be tired or distracted or just not in the mood. And your peace of mind is important as well. So every baby has their own personality, and sometimes it takes a few tries to get it right. Some babies might also experience something called nipple confusion. This is when they go back and forth between the breast and the bottle, and they start getting it mixed up about how to latch. And then that can cause latching problems, and we don't want that. So to prevent this, make sure you're using a slower flow nipple that's close to what they're used to with breastfeeding. It can make a difference in keeping them comfortable with both things. So sometimes babies can gag or choke a little when they're first starting out with a bottle. If this happens, try holding them a bit more upright and double check that the nipples flow is not too fast. If you've experienced having a large milk supply and a fast letdown in the past, that's similar to this. And you know that they just can't take the milk coming too fast. So that's a similar situation. Remember, they don't have to chug the whole bottle at once. Let them go at their own pace. If they take a few sips, great. Praise them for it and try again next time. Maybe they'll take a little bit more. So when you're starting to get the hang of bottle feeding, work it into your daily routine little by little. Start with one feeding a day and then increase it as you want to. If that's what your goal is to get them completely on the bottle, then you want to just increase that slowly. So one bottle a day at first, and then replace the second feeding with a bottle after a week or so. Do it very slowly. You're building a new habit, and you don't want to force it if they're really not into it. Create a dedicated bottle feeding time even. If you try to introduce the bottle at different times every day, that can be confusing. So again, routine. If they know that it's going to be right after their first nap of the morning, they're going to get a bottle, perfect. Then do that every day. Now, if you're supplementing with formula, mix in a small amount with the breast milk at first and help them adjust to the taste gradually. Just start with a small ratio and then increase it if that's something you're planning to do, is turn it all into formula at some point. So start out with more breast milk, a little bit of formula, and then adjust the ratios. Remember, bottle feeding does not have to be just a means to an end. Just like with breastfeeding, it's bonding experience. So make eye contact, hold your baby close, use those gentle touches, and reassure them that bottle feeding is safe and comfortable. If you've tried all these tips I've shared today and you're still having a hard time, it's totally okay to reach out to a lactation consultant. I do have another video about how to find a lactation consultant, so if you subscribe to my channel, you will find that in my playlist. These professionals have a lot of hands-on experience and can provide personalized advice to make sure you and your baby are both feeling good about the transition. Here is my number one tip. I'm glad you've made it this far. Absolutely let someone else other than mom offer the bottle in the beginning. Mom is associated with the breast. Mom's smell, mom's touch, everything about mom is about breastfeeding right now. So the baby is very likely to refuse the bottle if it's coming from you. So if you have a partner or someone else who can help, it can work wonders to let them give the first few bottle feeds. Babies sometimes need a bit of distance from mom when they're trying something new, especially when it comes to feeding. So mom shouldn't be in the same room or maybe even in the same house. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen moms so upset that they have to leave their babies and the caregivers no one has been able to get them to take a bottle. Not mom, not dad, not grandma. But once mom leaves the home, it became exponentially easier. She just wasn't there. And the bottle with the food that they needed was there. So it was like magic. So trust me on that one. All right. Thanks for joining me today. That's it for this episode. And remember, transitioning a baby to a bottle from the breast takes some patience. I hope these tips help you get there. Thank you for tuning in. And if you found this helpful, please hit the like button, and I will see you next time.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe and the notification bell so you don't miss my weekly check-ins with first-time mom, Kes. I'm going to follow her through her 4th trimester when she brings her baby home, and we'll have lots to talk about. See you there.